Right guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be changing an oil body. This is one actually I fitted around 4 years ago I think, but unfortunately during the floods the other week the water came up and above, well the water level was there, so it completely flooded this boiler. So the insurance company's paying for a new one so they can get some heating and hopefully start to dry the house out. Obviously they're not living here at the minute. Yeah, the house is never flooded, but it did flood. So we're using the same pump, we're going to use the same filter, use the same zone valves, but we're changing the boiler. To be honest, all this got covered in like sewage water as well, so it wasn't the nicest. I fitted all this, I think it was 4 years ago. Obviously I didn't lag the pipes, naughty 4 years ago. You didn't really have to be fair, I don't think, but I'm going to lag them now, just to help improve it a little bit. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We'll get it stripped out. Hopefully it should nearly be a straight swap. I can't even remember how I did it, to be fair. So yeah, we've got main line in there for the return, goes across. Oh no, that's the flow. Pumps on the return on this one. So yeah, that's how I did it. It all worked anyway. We've got a filter on there. So yeah, we'll get it whipped out and get it sorted. I just whipped the burner out. There is a drain off tap on the left hand side on these. If not, I've got one on my pipe work. I'm sure there is. I haven't got my sockets out, so I just use my grips. When I came to this, the boiler was still sat in water, so there might be a little bit of water actually inside this still. We'll have a look. Yeah, see inside there, look. It's all water. Let's get the torch out. It's all water, look. It's been completely flooded. So yeah, bit blast tube's all rusty. We'll open that drain off and get it all drained. I was half expecting the when I took the burner out to get water, but it's obviously drained itself out. So open that drain off. I've got the cold feed off. I did actually put a drain off tap on that pipe work there as well, so we could have drained it from there. So it comes out, pumps on the return, so it'll be coming back down, and then it just picks all that pipe work there up. So all I'm going to do is jig it back in exactly the same. Got a fire valve. I did put a secondary filter on down there, and then I did lag the condense as well, best I could in here. See how rusty it is in that blast tube. It's been sat in water a little bit, hasn't it? As I say, got a swimming pool in there. I did even use a brass insert on the oil line, so you're supposed to do, and I did on that one. The condense will just pull off on this. I must have put an air gap on it for some reason. I can't exactly remember why, but it didn't actually save this boiler. I sometimes put an air gap on if there's a risk of it flooding. But yeah, it didn't do this one a lot of favours, did it? Because the whole room flooded. I'll get the flue disconnected while it's draining down. I am putting a new flue on as well, but I will be using the same support brackets because there's nothing wrong with them. It is all clipped up all the way how it should be. So yeah, new flue, but I'll use the brackets. We'll get the electrics disconnected out of it. I have checked for dead and it is all safely isolated. It doesn't look like I took it through the grommet. I don't know if I wired that one up. I'll bring it through there next time because it is better. It hasn't actually chafed on the metal, but I didn't always used to wire the boilers up. Sometimes the electricians would do them, so I don't know. We'll disconnect the boiler from this pump valve because it's easier than disconnecting it at the bottom for the time being. I always use rubber pump washers, they're easier to get apart. So that's free off the boiler. There's actually a drop of water left in there, but not a lot. Yeah, that'll be alright. And then we just need to get that flow disconnected from there. When I did it, I think I must have converted this to fully pumped, because I've put that hot water valve on the return, so that one is straight path to vent, so that'll be primary flow. That one is hot water return, that would have been the primary return. So I put the return on there so it didn't kill the vent, so it's got a straight path, and then heating one comes off the flow. So that's how I did it. It was obviously a little bit of a strange conversion, but I'll keep it exactly as it is. It is all safe. I was thinking, do I need to put a pressure relief in? Did I drop a clanger at the time? But no, it has got a path to vent, which is one thing you've got to watch out for, because I obviously put the pump on the return, so if you shut that pump valve off, and if it had got zone valves on the flow, it would have killed the path to vent, but it isn't, because that's on the return. Obviously the roof leaks a little bit there, but we'll check out, make sure that's all working. Right, so that's all pipework disconnected. Want to get that cutter off. Flue's disconnected, so we just be able to slide it forward off the oil line and get this thing whipped out. There is a little bit of water in the burner box still, so my wet vac's buried at the minute underneath the new boiler, and it's pouring down with rain outside, so I don't really want to get the boiler out of the van yet. So we'll have to deal with that bit in a second. Yeah, we're all drained, so I'm hoping clear of the oil line. I was just trying to get it clear of that oil line at the bottom, so we can just get this outside. I'm surprised that Flue's holding water. It's obviously, I'll see if I can put it back with a bit more of a fall this time. Is it the Flue? No, it's coming out of that. I thought the Flue was holding water, but it's clearly got a fall on it. Right, so that's got the boiler all out. We'll have a bit of a tidy up now, and we can see exactly what we're doing. As I say, I'm hoping it's going to be a straight swap. It should be. Condenser's already all lagged best I could. It never froze up. It's just flooded, didn't it? But as I say, the house had never flooded, and well, it's actually a listed building, this as well. So in all the years it's been here, it's never flooded. And then we had that rain, I don't know, a month, 6 weeks ago. Yeah, and all this lot was, well, it was above the boiler, just above the boiler it was, sort of wasted. Beautiful. So yeah, we should just be able to put the male lines back in. Obviously that one was blanked off, they do send you a blank. And then I'm hoping, where have I put them? Where did I put them? Ah, here. Put the male line back in. So that one was on the return. Like that, and then we'll just screw that male line back in there on the flow, blank that one off, and we can get the boiler wheeled, well not wheeled back in, we can get it put back in then. Yeah, not too bad. If I'm out of breath, it's because all your boilers are heavy, and I've just had to move that about 300 yards from the van down to here because there's no driveway on this house. And I don't have my wheels today because I lent them out, and the guy who I lent them to is not in today. So yeah, I just had to pretty much carry that, and it's about 110 kilos, so you know about it. Always get these sort of made up first because it's so much easier than trying to do them when the boiler's in. It's all about prep work, isn't it, I suppose. So this is the return connection. Just nip that up. Return. You can use either of them two for the flow, but obviously we'll do it how it was. Loctite 55 on these. And then a little bit of jet blue over the top. So what I'm going to try and do is going to try and feed this oil line back down the right hand side of the boiler, and then yeah, just get it piped up. It shouldn't be too bad, this one, as I've already said, I think. Must have been somewhere there, I reckon. Yeah, that'll line back up. That'll connect up. We'll connect that one back up. Get the oil line. Condenser will go straight back, and then just the flue. I'm going to change the flue because obviously, I think it's 3 or 4 years old, so it's always better to change the flue and the boiler together. A new pump valve washer in there. Line back up for us. Might be a little bit awkward, but we'll get it. There's the oil line. Oh, you know what? It's left a nut behind, hasn't it? But we can shorten that back, I think. Obviously, I've either got to try and get that olive off, or try and find the nut, take the side off. That's a pain, isn't it? But yeah, we'll sort it. So I've got my insert back in my oil line. I just need to get that connected back up and in, if it'll go. Must be into me. That's going all the way in, isn't it? There we go, that's it. All the insert does is obviously stop the line from crushing the pipe, or the olive from crushing the oil, if that makes sense. Sometimes these are tight, a bit like me, tight with me money anyway. Not that I've got any, but if I was, I would be tight. Give that a little nip. We're not tighten that up yet because obviously we've got to set the burner up. We'd have to check the baffles and stuff. But yeah, oil line's all connected, pipe work's all connected. Just got the flue to do now. So we have to use the flue damper on this model. All 1218 appliances, we're actually 1825, and then on the 2532 it's flue length of less than 4 metres. So yeah, fit the flue damper and then we can start building the flue back up then. That bracket's actually come off the wall. I don't know why I only put one plug in that at the time, but I did. So yeah, all new flue bits. We've got new bends, new telescopic flue kit to go out the wall, and then the new extensions as well. So the starter bracket should actually be in there with the telescopic flue kit, but it isn't there. The box had already been, well, not opened, but I don't know why it's not there. So what I'll have to do is only the first, well, the bit that tightens up, I'll have to reuse the old one in there. It's not very old, but if you were coming to fit a boiler from new, you'd be buggered because obviously it's missing out of the box. So thank Worcester for that. And if you're watching Worcester, that's another thing missing out your boilers again. It's that piece that's missing, that clamp bracket. They always come with the telescopic. They always come with the telescopic flue kit. So yeah, I don't know why it's not in the box, but that bit, it's only literally a bracket. There's no flue seals or anything like that in there, so we'll have to reuse the old one on this, unfortunately. Like I say, if you were fitting that from new, you'd be buggered. I might ring the supplier up actually and have a moan. I like having a moan. So this clamp just literally goes over the top anyway, but it's not really the point. So I just rang my supplier up, and that came direct from Worcester as well. It didn't come from F&P, so it's obviously never ever been in the box. The box wasn't opened either. It's super annoying, isn't it, when you want to, like, when stuff's missing from orders. It's not really good enough, and they're supposed to be weighed as well. So I've got my flue damper in there. I nearly said bearing plate there for some reason. Got bearing plates on my mind. Get that tightened up. That's a brand new elbow on there. As I say, always replace the flue when you do the boiler. And just get that tightened up. So it's only a clamp. Plenty of grease on these. To be fair to Worcester, they do send you all your screws. They even send you a drill bit as well. All your grease and everything. They just don't send you the clamps. And then we just got a brand new 1 metre extension. Just drop in. There we go. And we'll make sure that elbow gets screwed at the bottom as well. Get it nice and solid. It's proper horrible weather out there today. We had snow yesterday, the snow's gone, it's turned to rain. I don't know what I'd sooner have, to be honest with you. At least the snow you were a bit drier. But anyway, I suppose that's winter for you, isn't it? Just a little tip with these, well not really a tip. I always just slide the thing down and then you can mark around your thingy-mabobby, your flue collar. You just end up getting a straighter cut-ish, in theory. Health and safety, put some goggles on. Can't see anything out the goggles like, so. I'll just get my first piece fixed in. He says. So everything's nice and secure then. Obviously when you drill them, don't go in through to your second layer. Obviously you're just fixing that into the air on the outside. You don't need to go mental. That's it. Flue is nice and solid. You should be able to swing on it. Obviously you don't want that coming apart. I've still got to put a couple of my screws in, but yeah, bracket on every joint or go over the top with brackets, it doesn't matter as long as it's screwed, as long as it's fixed solid. So yeah, we're getting there. What I've got to do, just wire it up, lag all the pipes, put the inhibitor in. We're going to see what that filter's like. If it's fairly clean, I'm not going to put my Magna cleanse on because I only flushed this out 3 years ago. I think it was either 3 or 4 years ago, I can't remember. As I say, they're going to be doing extensive works inside anyway, taking all the radiators off downstairs, chopping all the plaster off and stuff, but they just want a little bit of heat obviously just to help dry stuff out. They've got all dehumidifiers in there. I said the whole place was completely flooded. So yeah, we'll see what it's like. I will put an inhibitor in it. I know it's going to be drained down again, but you know, it might be a couple of weeks or it could be a couple of months. I'm not sure. It's obviously down to the insurance. So yeah, we'll just do our bit. We'll check to make sure the system was all clean, and we'll be out of the way. That's got the flue all in. They're all the old bits to prove that I've changed it. I tell you what, it's days like today where you want to be inside because it's so cold. It's raining, it's horrible, it's wet through. I've still got to get the boiler dragged up to the van. What I'm going to do now is get the boiler wired up and we get a little bit of heat on. I can get everything checked then. So yeah, we are getting there. It's just wet, horrible, cold, miserable winter horribleness. Get some inhibitor in this filter. Right, the system's filled up. What we'll do, filled up and wide, what we'll do is just whip the burner cover off. We'll bleed the oil through, get the pump pressure gauge on it, and we'll get the boiler set up. This is just a Riolo burner, pretty standard across the range. Obviously your nozzles vary. So oil bleed point is there on these. What I'm going to do is put my gauge on. Over up on my gauge. Hopefully the GoPro's not going to go flat on me. GoPro's going flat, unfortunately, so we're filming it on the phone. As I say, I've just connected my pump pressure gauge. I don't know what bit I've already filmed because I don't know when it went flat. Just checking the baffles, they're all in. So what we can do is get the boiler fired up now, and yeah, we'll get the pump pressure set. It should actually be set out the factory, to be fair, and yeah, get the boiler set up. So just flick the power on, the boiler should fire up. It may go to lockout, but I think we've got the fuel on. Yeah, it's fired up. So what we can do is get the analyzer in. We'll leave it a few minutes, let it warm up. We'll go and check the radiators, get the analyzer in and get the burner set up. So we are on that boiler there with that nozzle in. It's at 1825 and it's set for 21 kilowatt, no, 21.5 kilowatt, I think. So the pump pressure should be 8.8 bar or 128 psi. So we'll have a look what we've got on the gauge. It should be nearly set. So yeah, this gauge isn't the best, but it is 8.8 bar. So it's just below, oops, probably broke now. It's just below 9 and just above 8. If I'm honest, I need to get a new gauge, but it gives me a rough idea. So that is set. So we're happy with the pump pressures. Once the pump pressure's set, we can check everything else then. You want to adjust your pump pressure, it's that screw there, but you only want tiny little movements, because the little adjustment, if you ever bleed your boiler and touch that, you need to get an off-tech guy and set it back up, because a tiny adjustment on the pump pressure will make a massive difference. It'll make a massive difference to how the boiler burns. So pump pressure first, and if you accidentally adjust it trying to bleed it, you need to set that back up with a gauge and an analyzer. So yeah, we can get, once this is warmed up a little bit, I'll go check the radiators, we can get the analyzer in and make sure everything's okay. So literally only just been calibrated, and yet they're saying it's due again in March. Don't know. Make sure it's on oil. Right, so the CO2s need to be 12.5 on this. This one's not a million miles away where it is, to be honest with you. So we've got ppms of 35, CO2 12.5, excess air 23.9. So you always refer back to your manufacturer's instructions for your CO2. If you did want to adjust it, it's just on the air. So it's tiny little turns again on that. We'll adjust the CO2s, but we'll let that run. As I say, we'll check it again in a minute. I've still got to seal the flue, lag all the pipes and stuff. But I think I'm going to end the video there just because I'm freezing cold, I'm wet through. I've just actually lifted the old boiler back in the van. I've got covered in water. So yeah, I'm cold, I'm wet, I'm out of battery and I want to go home. But yeah, we've just got the pipes to lag, flue to seal, and then we can go home. And obviously all the systems and stuff to check, but yeah, and then paperwork to fill out. And so there's a bit to do. But yeah, what I'm saying is the video will probably end here because I'm cold.